On the world news, 3 civilians killed and 9 others wounded in Israeli strike, and 12 people found dead and many missing as boat heading to Europe capsized. This is the world news. Good afternoon, thanks for joining us on the world news on Providence Television International. My name is Edna Caesar Garrick, and now the details. Reports say 3 civilians have been killed and 9 others wounded in Israeli strike on Syria's capital, Damascus. Earlier reports also say TV presenter Safar Ahmed was killed on Tuesday in treacherous Israeli aggression targeting the Syrian capital. Footage posted show a car engulfed in flames on a street surrounded by apartment blocks. It is not clear if the presenter was among the 3 civilian casualties. Israel's Ministry of Defense and military did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The report of Israeli strikes on the Syrian capital came as its military began limited, localized and targeted ground raids in neighboring Lebanon in a major escalation of its offensive targeting the armed group Hezbollah. Israeli attack killed at least 95 people and wounded 172 others across Lebanon on Monday, according to Lebanese authorities. In his first address since Israel's killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, the group's deputy leader, Naim Qassem, said on Monday that his forces were prepared and ready for a ground invasion. The spillover of fighting into Lebanon and Syria has stoked fears that the war in Gaza could escalate into a broader regional conflict. On Monday, United States President Joe Biden called for an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week rejected proposal for a ceasefire with Hezbollah after the U.S., the European Union, Australia, and a number of other countries issued a joint call for a 21-day pause in fighting. 3 people have been killed and 15 others injured in a knife attack at a suburban supermarket in Shanghai, China's biggest city. The attack took place on Monday in the city's southwest, the latest in a series incident in major Chinese cities this year. The suspect, a 37-year-old man surnamed Lin, was taken into custody shortly afterwards by police responding to the attack. Early investigations suggested Lin had traveled to Shanghai to vent his anger following a personal financial dispute. The knife attack took place as China prepared for the traditional Golden Week holiday, which falls around National Day on October 1st. Public stabbing incidents have risen over the years in China, with authorities often putting the blame on mental illness. Last month, a 10-year-old Japanese schoolboy was stabbed in the southern city of Shenzhen and died of his injuries. In May, a man killed 8 people and injured 1 more with a knife in the city of Shanghai in central Hubei province. In 2022, a man went on a stabbing spree at a major hospital in Shanghai, injuring 15 people. He was later sentenced to death by hanging. At least 12 people have been found dead and 10 are still missing after a boat heading to Europe capsized off coast of Tunisia's southeast island of Debja. Reports say 3 children were among the dead. The Medanian court spokesman also said 29 people have been rescued after the early morning sinking, the cause of which remained unknown. The Tunisia's National Guard said it was alerted to the incident by 4 migrants who swam back ashore. Human Rights Observatory, a local rights group, said all the people on board were Tunisians bar 2 Moroccans. Tunisia and Libya have become key departure points for refugees and migrants, mostly from sub-Saharan Africa, who often risk dangerous sea journeys across the Mediterranean to seek a better life in Europe. More than 1,300 people have died or disappeared last year in shipwrecks off Tunisia, according to the rights group Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights. The exodus is prompted by Tunisia's stagnant economy, with only 0.4% growth in 2023 and unemployment soaring. The country has also been shaken by political tensions after President Kais Saied, democratically elected in 2019, orchestrated a power grab in July 2021. Overall, the central Mediterranean is among the world's deadliest migration routes, with more than 2,500 people dying or going missing as they attempted the crossing last year, and 1,116 since the beginning of the year, according to the International Organization for Migration. In recent years, the European Union has increased efforts to reduce migration, including by providing equipment and financial support to the Libyan Coast Guard, a quasi-military organization linked to militia accused of abuses and crimes. As a result, many refugees and migrants have found themselves stranded in Libya, often in prisons in conditions that rights groups describe as inhumane. The IOM said in May that there were more than 706,000 migrants in Libya at the start of the year, but Libyan officials say the actual number exceeds 2 million. Libya is struggling to recover from years of war and chaos after the 2011 NATO-backed overthrow of longtime ruler Muammar Gaddafi. The instability has helped turn the country into fertile ground for people trafficking gangs who have been accused of abuses and slavery. If you are just joining us, this is the world news on Providence Television International. Almost 48% of people in Haiti are experiencing acute food shortages amid ongoing armed gang violence. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification (IPC) said in the report released on Monday that 5.41 million people in the beleaguered Caribbean nation were facing high levels of acute food insecurity between August 2024 and February 2025. Of overall total 6,000 people are experiencing catastrophic levels of hunger, the World Hunger Watchdog warned. Haiti was already reeling from years of unrest when powerful armed groups, often with ties to the country's political and business leaders, launched attacks on prisons and other state institutions across the capital. Port-au-Prince in February, despite international efforts to smooth the situation, the appointment of a new government, the rule of law remains scarce and the violence persists. At least 3,661 people were killed in Haiti in the first half of this year amid the senseless gang violence that has engulfed the country. The UN said on Monday violence in Port-au-Prince and its surrounding area is creating serious difficulties in supplying basic foodstuffs to regions, limiting household physical and financial access to food. The IPC warned the difficulties have led to high inflation, which is identified as another contributing factor. Food now consumes up to 70% of household expenses, reports say. The residential effect of climate shocks such as Hurricane Matthew in 2016 and the 2021 earthquake were also exacerbating the hunger crisis, the IPC said. Gangs now control about 80% of Port-au-Prince, along with key roads leading to northern and southern Haiti, severely disrupting the delivery of goods and humanitarian aid. At least 1,379 people were reportedly killed or injured between April and June. Over the past few years, gang activity has left more than 700,000 people homeless. A UN-backed mission led by Kenya, which began in late June, has managed to liberate some communities from gang control. However, officials warn that significant challenges remain. Away from the foreign scene now back home, President Bola Tinubu has arrived at the forecourt of Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, for the 64th Independence Day Parade. Tinubu, who is a special guest of honor, was ushered into the arena at about 10:10 a.m. for the events, with theme reflecting on the past, inspiring the future. After the national salute, he proceeded to inspect the Guard of Honor consisting of members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, led by Lieutenant Colonel Moshood Yusuf. Tuesday's ceremony is Tinubu's second Independence Day observant as president. Although the Eagle Square hosted such ceremonies in the past, the current administration moved the activities back to the villa. Announcing the development in October 2023, the secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, said the Independence Day anniversary will be observed low-key due to the tumultuous state of the economy, stated for the ceremony where Vice President Kassim Shettima, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Speaker House of Rep Tajuddin Abbas, Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, SGF Akume, National Security Advisor Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, Service Chiefs, and the Inspector General of Police, Cabinet members, former president and vice president, heads of paramilitary organizations, and members of the diplomatic corps. In another development, President of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN), Archbishop Daniel Oko, has urged Nigerians to be courageous and hopeful, calling for unity and progress. He made this statement on Tuesday as the country celebrates its 64th independence anniversary. He emphasized the importance of reflecting on the nation's journey, celebrating achievement, and recommitting to the ideals of peace and harmony. He urged citizens to embrace peaceful coexistence and work collaboratively to build a future marked by mutual respect and understanding. Oko acknowledged the progress made in combating terrorism and banditry, but stressed the need for vigilance. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's resolve to reform the Nigerian political, economic, and defense architecture, stating the mistakes of the past and missed opportunities are the reason for the present situation the country has found itself in. The president disclosed this today during his national broadcast commemorates the 64th independence anniversary of the country. President Tinubu stated that there must be reforms for progress and prosperity, or Nigerians risk collapse of the country. He added that if the country did not correct the fiscal misalignment that led to the current economic turndown, it will face an uncertain future and peril of unimaginable consequences. President Tinubu further disclosed that the economy is undergoing necessary reforms and retooling to serve the people better and more sustainably. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has called for the strengthening of democratic institutions as the key to ensuring good governance and fostering national prosperity. Ex-President Jonathan emphasized that the country's future depends on the integrity of its institution and the development of a democratic culture that promotes transparency, equity, and inclusion. He noted that Nigerians' current challenges, which range from insecurity and economic instability to social division, can only be addressed if its institutions are strengthened. Lauding the 25-year sustained democracy in the Fourth Republic, Goodluck Jonathan stressed the need to deepen the roots of Nigerians' democracy, foster economic growth, and the development of a good democratic culture that will support peaceful, transparent, free, and fair elections. Officers of the Nigerian police force have dispersed fearless in October protesters gathered at the Utako market in Abuja. Reports say protesters has converged at the market as early as 7 a.m. on Tuesday to protest the hardship faced by Nigerians occasioned by government policies and programs. However, police officers promptly dispersed the protesters at about 8:54 a.m. The October 1st protest, tagged Fearless in October, is a continuation of the End Bad Governance protest held between August 1st and 10th in response to the economic hardship experienced by many Nigerians, and also the former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, has joined the ongoing protest in Lagos State. Sowore is one of the key organizers of the protest, arrived at the protest ground at the Ikeja Under Bridge at exactly 8:50 a.m. Addressing newsmen, Sowore said the protest was a crucial step towards taking Nigeria to the promised land. He emphasized that the action symbolized the people's rejection of the government's Independence Day celebration. Sowore questioned whether Nigerians had not given the government enough chances and how the past administration misused the additional time given to them. Protesters on Tuesday morning gathered at the Ikeja Under Bridge in Lagos as the country marks the 64th Independence Day. The protest, however, is being closely monitored by a large contingent of security personnel, including policemen, officers of the Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps, and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Meanwhile, the protesters are currently marching along the Awolowo Way. With that, we've come to the end of the world news. But before we go, a recap. We brought you the story which says almost 48% of people in Haiti are experiencing acute food shortages amid ongoing armed gang violence. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification IPC said in the report released on Monday that 5.41 million people in the beleaguered Caribbean nation were facing high levels of acute food insecurity between August 2024 and February 2025. At least 12 people have been found dead and 10 are still missing after a boat heading to Europe capsized off the coast of Tunisia's southeastern island of Jebba. Reports say 3 children were among the dead. 3 people have been killed and 15 others injured in a knife attack at a suburban supermarket in Shanghai, China's biggest city. The attack took place on Monday in the city's southwest, the latest in a series incident in major Chinese cities this year. The suspect, it is a 37-year-old man, surnamed Lin, was taken into custody shortly afterwards by police responding to the attack. Reports say 3 civilians have been killed and 9 others wounded in Israeli strike on Syria's capital, Damascus. Earlier reports also say a TV presenter, Shafar Ahmed, was killed on Tuesday in treacherous Israeli aggression targeting the Syrian capital. That's our package. Thanks for watching. Edna Cesar Garrick is my name. Good afternoon.